socially and economically disadvantaged persons is essential if we're to obtain social and economic equality for such persons. Invidious circumstances over which they have no control. The It Is Possible program that we're going to emphasize today really targets those groups that have had little or no control and that have been um, what the statute and the congressional leaders of that time in 1953 identified as persons who are socially disadvantaged because of their identification as members of certain groups. And we have identified funders and investor who is committed to achieving the goal of supporting business owners to make it possible for them to develop economic equality through a down payment assistance program, an exclusive program that we established that we'll share more about. And we believe it's the core of why it is possible to build economic equality in our country and in our community. So with that, let me tell you a little bit more about who we are. Next slide. So these quotes remind us of our possibilities. By Les Brown, the only limits to the possibilities in your life tomorrow are the buts you use today. So if there were reasons you have not accessed capital, we hope that you leave this webinar being reminded that it is possible, and don't add the but, because that limits your possibilities. The next slide, please.
Great quote. Great quote.
There's a couple of others for your takeaways today. If my mind can conceive it and my heart can believe it, then I can achieve it. Our famous Muhammad Ali, and Susan Taylor. Whatever we believe about ourselves and our ability comes true for us. And if you get nothing else from this webinar today, that access to capital is possible for you and for the people that you represent. And that's what we want to share with you today. Next slide. So in the agenda, we'll talk a little bit more about who AMPAC is, what we do, and the loan programs and services, our direct lending programs, our microloan and 7A loan product, our SBA 504 product, and the special program that we established that's exclusive to AMPAC, our liquidity replacement or down payment assistance program, and then our entrepreneur ecosystem. And we believe one of the most important parts of this webinar is hearing from some of the businesses that we've served that have determined and executed on the fact that it is possible. So we have a couple of videos that we'll share, and a description of a couple of borrowers that we have served that have been able to purchase their commercial real estate and really fulfill what the SBA statute envisioned in 1953. With that, I'll turn it over to Brian.
Thank you so much. So we're really looking forward to our program today. So now that we've laid out the agenda, let's jump right into who is AMPAC. AMPAC is a mission-based financing business success agency. We really do champion access to capital and making it as easy as ABC. We were established as a 501c3 mission-based lender, as you've learned, authorized by the U.S. Small Business Administration, and the U.S. Department of Treasury. You all notated the congressional mandate, and we aim to embody that with what we do. And we exist to uplift communities, strengthen families, and advance entrepreneurial dreams. And you see the picture of our team who's dedicated to doing that. We believe that we serve champions of job makers, which are you all as small business owners. And we love seeing jobs being created through access to capital that we do champion. And so we'll jump right into what we do. We make businesses' dreams come true through what we call our ladder climbing loan programs. We believe in that cradle to legacy, not only financing of your success, but fostering of your success as well. But let's start with the financing and what we have available. We do provide government-backed loans for private and growing businesses as little as $5,000 all the way up to $30 million and above. Our SBA loans are our primary products that we do facilitate, with our SBA 504 loan being for businesses that are, as you notated here, purchasing or refinancing buildings, equipment, or to complete construction, in which we've done a little over $1 billion in direct lending to small businesses through the SBA 504 program. We also facilitate direct loans for working capital, for inventory purchases, business acquisitions as well, including franchises, which we got to talk a little bit about today. We also facilitate microloans, state guarantee loans, as well as SBA 7A Community Advantage loans, which we'll also talk about a little bit more as we go. We are also a direct lender, and we also make sure to showcase that we have now been around for nearly 20 years, serving the small business community, doing what we do, which is making small businesses' dreams come true. Once again, serving the champions of job makers. So as we progress here, we have two sides of what we do. We do our access to capital services, but we also do our access to business coaching and access to business community services as well. With business advising, we try to make sure we provide best fit lending partners and solutions for business owners. Where we can't support a business owner, we bring you into our entrepreneurial ecosystem, where we have connections with other partners that provide access to alternative capital, as an example, or other loan programs that may be a better fit. But we make sure that we provide you with that best fit for your lending needs, whether it be with us or with one of our other partners, including bank partners. So if you're looking for that credit card or that access to a credit line, we can also support you with making sure you have a good partner to support you in accessing that capital. We facilitate training programs and technical assistance initiatives through our entrepreneur ecosystem, including our 24/7 on-demand training available in our AMPAC mobile app. We also facilitate accelerator and incubator programs to help businesses scale. And once again, we really focus on businesses from cradle to legacy, with startup and early start and growing business owners through our training programs, all the way through to succession planning and helping business owners that are trying to move on to the next stage of their business journey by possibly selling their business. We help give guidance at all stages of growth with our training programs. We have phenomenal partners through our SBA Technical Assistance Service Centers. We work very closely with SCORE, our Service Corps of Retired Executives, our SBDC team, which is our Small Business Development Center team, and our Women's Business Center, which are all dedicated to providing free consulting, coaching, and mentoring to each of you as business owners. We have a specific partnership with our Cal State San Bernardino Center for Entrepreneurship as well, where we even host consultants in our office here in Ontario. So we are grateful to be a resource in every way we can, and we continue to collaborate with the organization through our Advancing Impact Partnerships, which are centralized and focus on helping you as business owners propel your growth to that next level. Once again, we're here to support you from cradle to legacy, not only with capital, but with making sure you have access to good coaching and a great community. So as an example of some of our programs and services, our primary program and services, which we'll get into a little bit more, is our SBA 504 loan. We really aim to serve and support business owners with purchasing their owner-occupied commercial real estate, heavy machinery, and equipment. And especially in today's market, refinancing commercial real estate and equipment as well. We centralize on owner-occupied commercial real estate, and we can also facilitate refinances with cash out for business operating expenses. And we also include financing of construction, renovation, and improvements with our SBA 504 loan as well. You heard briefly mentioned, and we'll definitely be diving into this further, our AMPAC Liquidity Replacement Program, which goes up to $100,000 or half of the required down payment, which ranges from 10% to 20%. We have our SBA 7A Community Advantage, which we will talk more about as well, which goes up to $350,000, and according to SBA, we'll be expanding. So we're looking out for those updates as well. And we also facilitate for the smaller dollar loans, we have you covered with our SBA microloan from as little as $5,000 to $50,000. And lastly, our AMPAC California State Guarantee Loan Program, which goes up to $150,000. So that's a brief high level of our programs, which we'll dive a little bit deeper into. So starting with AMPAC as a direct lender. So there's a little bit of a differentiation between how we facilitate our loan programs on the SBA 504 side versus the SBA 7A and SBA microloan side. On our 7A and microloan side, we do facilitate direct lending, which is why we're able to create specialty programs like our minority small business loan program, where we offer microloans up to $50,000 with interest rate reduction for if you have on-time payment for the first 3 years, with not only consistent monthly payments, but consistent documentation of your attendance of training courses that we provide you. We offer interest rate reduction up to 1.5% on your loan. This can also be reimbursed to you as $1,000 or $2,500 principal reduction of the loan balance. Once again, citing your consistent monthly payments and your documented attendance of at least 4 training courses over the course of the year, which we would provide to you. These are specialty programs that we've created to fit into this constitutional statute to serve the underserved communities that we are committed to serving. Alongside our SBA microloan program and our minority small business loan program, we also have our SBA 7A Community Advantage program, which we quote as helping small business owners move forward and bring jobs to the community. We are really big with creating champions of job makers, which are the backbone of the American economy, small business owners. This loan is available for startup businesses and established businesses with loans going up to $350,000. This is a variable rate loan program, and as of now, we have to keep up with the SBA prime rate to make sure we're staying on track with lending according to the variable rate. This program has flexible terms between 7 to 10 years. And so we try to make this more patient capital where you can repay it over time. But we also have a 25-year term opportunity for any owner-occupied commercial real estate projects that may come up at this price range. So we do want to make sure you all are aware that we can facilitate terms as low as 7 years all the way up to 25 years. With as little as 10% owner equity injection or down payment for this loan program. This is great for short-term working capital. If you're trying to finance a business acquisition, this is a great solution. If you're trying to purchase equipment, once again, commercial real estate, or inventory or debt refinance, which we've seen a lot of, especially with things like merchant cash advance loans, high interest credit cards. We're grateful to serve with helping business owners stabilize their cash flow and continue to grow their business with access to our SBA loan programs that we directly administrate. So once again, we're here to be of service, and these are some of the programs that we do facilitate to do so. Like I noted, we have our SBA microloan, which is different than our minority small business loan. So our SBA microloan has a 7-year term at 6 to 7% fixed interest rate, while our minority small business loan has a 5-year term, so a little bit shorter, with 5% fixed interest rate. And once again, has an opportunity for grant capital and the required training courses to make sure you're maximizing your potential as a business owner. So we try to make sure we support you from both sides with our small dollar loan program. And then once again, that step up, once again, we try to facilitate ladder climbing loan programs. So if you need something that's a little more robust, once again, we have our SBA 7A Community Advantage Loan Program, which is based on our mission-driven lender criteria. So it's not as stringent, not as tight as a bank lender would give. We have the autonomy to be a little bit more flexible with our lending criteria, where we're able to do startup loans, we're able to do loans with financial projections, where we can help tell the story of your business and really help you access capital according to the SBA's parameters as an SBA certified development company. So we're big on making sure that stories are a part of these presentations because we want you to hear about the Black-owned businesses that have had success accessing capital. And so this is one of the success stories from our SBA microloan program. We worked with a financial services company that's dedicated to empowering individuals and small business owners with different financial services products and guidance services. This small business owner leveraged our microloan program, our minority small business microloan program, to acquire a business vehicle for their entity. And this ability not only enhanced their ability to get around and make sure they were using it to reach their clients, but it also helped improve the business owner's credit, their business credit specifically, which is going to really help position and empower them for future growth. We have strategized with this business owner. I was part of this transaction as well for a little over a year to help them prepare and just really get comfortable with applying for this minority small business loan. This came out to about $26,000. So right in that sweet spot between our $5,000 and $50,000 range. This was at a 7-year term at a 5% fixed rate. And this business owner is located in the city of Fontana, where we have a very strong partnership as well, where we're facilitating a Fontana Empowerment Loan Program. So don't hesitate to ask if you are a Fontana business owner looking for access to capital in that city as well. But this was a success story that we were really proud of that funded this year, and we're grateful to be able to serve our small business owners looking for capital to grow their business. And with that, I will pass it over to my colleague, Janine Warren, to talk a little bit about our SBA 504 program.
And is everybody hear me okay? Hopefully. Great to be here. The SBA 504 program is a wonderful, wonderful way for a business owner at any stage to make the leap into ownership of your property. I don't know if you can see and you can do any reactions of any of the audience. I'd love to find out if any of you would love to look at purchasing a building for your business. Love to see a reaction there. Maybe not today, sometime in the future. We want to give you the tools and the knowledge so that you know what is possible for financing a purchase for your business. So the SBA 504 program is a partnership program by the U.S. Small Business Administration, facilitated through certified development companies such as AMPAC Business Capital, and we're in partnership with you, the business owner, and a bank or other lender that participates in the program. So we'll show you a little bit about the structure of that shortly. The loan can be used for the purchase or construction and including renovations with a purchase of owner-user commercial real estate. So what does that mean? That means you're purchasing a property that your business will be in at least 51% of the rentable square footage. Now, that also gives you the opportunity to purchase a property where you can lease out up to 49% and have additional income in. And hopefully, as your business grows, you might look into being able to expand to that other space in the future. And so we can also include machinery and equipment, or if there's machinery and equipment on its own that is of a higher dollar amount and a useful life of at least 10 years, the 504 can be used for that as well to help you expand your business. Our program does not finance any vehicles under the 504, but as Brian mentioned, our microloans or our 7A Community Advantage loan does provide financing for vehicles. Additionally, if anybody does have a building that they already own for their business, the 504 does have allow for refinance of existing debt on the properties, and it can include cash out to tap into that equity for your operating expenses. On there, which is, and then also if there was an expansion project in the future, maybe you own a building and you want to refinance that into a big renovation. So there's a lot of opportunities with the program, and it can fulfill a lot of needs. The great thing about the program is that we can finance up to 90% of your eligible project costs. So you can come in with as little as 10% down. And the program offers long-term, typically below market fixed rates on there. And next slide, please.
Absolutely.
So as I mentioned, we can use the program to, for purchase. It is a partnership program. Typically, we would look at, the bank would be at a first lien position at 50%. The SBA through a CDC such as AMPAC would bring in 40%, and you would come in with as little as 10%. Now, sometimes we may ask you to bring in more than 10%. If your business is a startup, meaning you've been generating revenue less than 2 years, we would require an additional 5%. Or if the property you're purchasing is considered a limited or special use property, that would also require 5%. So what does that mean? So you would be surprised how many types of properties we can finance and what would be considered owner user. So of course we can do your typical warehouse or manufacturing facility. We can do a professional office space, medical office space. We can also look at owner operated storage facilities and hotels, assisted living, adult daycare, gas stations and car washes. So things like the hotels, assisted livings, because they would have beds, gas stations, car washes, those would all be considered that special limited purpose, and that would require additional down payment. Restaurants and storage facilities, oddly, are not considered that, so we could finance up to 90% on that. So there are a lot of different types of properties that we can facilitate on that. The key is that you have a business in there that you are operating from. It cannot be just that you're renting it out to a tenant. But you, as I mentioned earlier, you can have a portion of it for additional income to a tenant. So here's our typical structure. It shows $1 million purchase. So the bank would be at a 50%, providing a loan at $500,000. The SBA would provide 40%, and you would come in with as little as 10%. And the additional structure showing if you had to put additional amount in. So yes, you do have 2 payments on this. But again, the lower down payment is the best way to get into a property on there. Next slide, please.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to turn this back over to Hilda to talk a little bit about our down payment assistance and liquidity replacement programs that will facilitate and complement our 504 to help our business owners get into properties.
Thank you so much, Janine. And you probably feel like me, like, why do I have to follow Brian with all of that energy? I can't match that energy, but we all have good information for you. So thank you, Brian, for putting the pressure of energy on us. On our exclusive down payment assistance program, we created this program at the end of 2021 and launched it in 2022. This is an exclusive program where we were able to identify a generous social impact investor, Edwards Lifesciences, who provided funds to us to specifically target Black, Latino, and women-owned businesses to encourage them to buy their commercial real estate for their business using the SBA 504 program that Janine just described. And what the program does, what we said to them is, historically, when we looked at the SBA data and we just looked at the numbers, we said, how are loans, what's the statistics, what's the funding record of SBA providing loans for the 504 program for commercial real estate ownership to underserved or socially disadvantaged communities. And we documented in that research that over the last 5 years, now probably over the last 8 years, less than 2% of SBA 504 loans had gone to Black-owned businesses, less than 8% had gone to Latino-owned businesses, and less than 10% had gone to women-owned businesses that own 51% or more. But these populations of businesses were growing at such a rapid clip. We evaluated and did some anecdotal studies talking to people on the why. Why weren't these businesses accessing this really incredible program that really can propel the economic parity of a community and a business by owning commercial real estate? And what we were able to identify as down payment is a barrier, especially in the state of California, since commercial real estate costs as well as residential real estate costs are so high. We said we could penetrate that barrier if we could assist with down payment assistance. And in the residential market, we had seen that in the success that has come out of residential down payment assistance programs. So we mimic that program by providing up to $100,000 of down payment assistance or 1/2 of the required down payment, not to exceed $100,000. In this targeted program, there is no payment for the first 12 months to give the business the what they needed to get used to that mortgage payment on the commercial real estate. And then the interest rate is fixed at 5% for a 5-year term, but amortized over 10 years. And we have had some great success in helping businesses to be able to access this program. We've done a little over $2.6 million in down payment assistance loans in this program for over 30 businesses who have been able to own their commercial real estate with this targeted group. We then developed a complementary program to down payment assistance, the first-time commercial real estate buyer program. Because what we're seeing is first-generation entrepreneurs who have grown their business and they're ready to buy, but still accessing the down payment because there's no family trust or inheritance. They need additional assistance. And for our banking partners, it's really important that when they're buying their building, there's some liquidity left there so that they can still operate their business. So this down payment assistance in the form of liquidity replacement allows them to be able to do that and allows the bank to feel comfortable in our public-private partnership with the 504 loan to fund the loan because they know they have the liquidity replacement coming as a backstop to the down payment that they've used to place on the building. Next slide. So again, this slide tells about both of those programs. The only difference in the first-time home buyer program is that the monthly payment for the down payment assistance or liquidity replacement starts after the loan funds versus is available versus the 12 months that the down payment assistance It Is Possible program allows. Next slide. So we're going to just talk about a couple of quick success stories, and I hope that I don't have any internet issues, and if I do, you all just jump right in. We were able to finance 2 daycare centers through this program where the business owners were expanding their daycare business to a second and third location to meet the community demand. And if you know anything about childcare and daycare in the state of California, there is a serious need for daycare centers. These this business owner was able to use our exclusive down payment assistance program to fulfill the needs that they had to open a second and third location with the down payment assistance program. The two projects totaled 1.8 million combined, and they were able to get $97,000 in down payment assistance. And the locations were in Riverside, California. So we're really excited to help this business owner achieve the dream of growing this business and meeting the demand to use it for two locations with the down payment assistance and being able to replace the liquidity. The next slide is going to include a video of two success stories of businesses that we were able to support in getting down payment assistance, and nothing like hearing them tell their own story. So, Brian, would you run the videos?
Hi, my name is Leona Stewart. I own and operate High Point Day Services. We are a community-based service that deals with mentally challenged adults. Me and my husband, we opened up a group home 5 years ago, and one group home led to two, two led to three, and now we have four. But within that, we noticed that it was a lack of help in the day program circle. Well, one of our friends, he went through AMPACT and he told us about it. So me and my husband, we decided, he was like, you want to try? And we're like, okay, let's try. So we went there, and I thank God for Janine. That's the person that helped me. The first thing is getting over ourselves and over our mental, knowing that we can accomplish this. Another thing was having the tools. That's where AMPACT came in. How do we do it? Who do we go to? Who can help us? The 5% down, that really helped us to be able to qualify for the loan. The second one is projections. Most loans, they only qualify you based on right now and what you have. They sit down with you and look at the projections of what your company can be, the potential, and they qualify you based on that as well. 3 years ago, we only had up to 70 clients last year. Within less than a year, we have 140 clients, so it's basically doubled. Also, we're able to now offer our services to the community so that they can integrate with developmentally challenged individuals as well as the community together. Dealing with AMPACT, it was amazing, and I'm not just saying it because I got the loan, but one person in particular, Janine, she was there for us. Didn't matter what time of day, she called us, we can call her if we had a question, and she didn't make me feel ignorant to ask anything. She was always encouraging us. We wanted to give up a couple of times, but she encouraged us and she let us know that we are worth it and we can make a difference, and if we just keep going and not give up. They just made sure that we knew that they were there for us, and they were there every step of the way. Yes, when you think of commercial real estate, we get overwhelmed and bogged down and think that we shouldn't have it, but you can do it. If you have a dream and you have a business, then do it. It's okay, and you have people here to help you. It doesn't matter where you're from, your color. It doesn't matter. You can do it, and you're worth it. With AMPACT, it is possible.
Oh, that always lights up my heart. Oh.
Hi, my name is Lee.
So I remember Leona and her husband and this project. And when I tell you their grit and resilience and their determination to make this happen, it was truly inspiring. And I just love every time I hear that story. But with that, I will move on to Dwayne Cano's story with Auction Liquidators. Got to meet Dwayne at his building when we were recording this with him, and the amount of passion he has for everything that he's doing and everything we're able to support him with it's just inspiring. So I'll let him share his side as well.
Hi, my name is Dwayne Cano. I own Auction Liquidators, which is a car distribution company. A friend of mine was a realtor, and she sold me the house to sell my mom. So I told myself, hey, maybe I can buy a business. I own a business, maybe I can buy the property. And it just so happened that her brother was a realtor for commercial property who dealt with AMPACT. AMPACT came into play where the main thing that really helped me was the loan assistance program. The down payment assistance program, was like dynamite to me because they loaned me the money for the property and I didn't have to make a payment until a year later. My business flourished. It's really easy to qualify, first off. I mean, it's people think, oh, it's hard to qualify. They help you with the down payment. On top of that, as long as you have a certain FICO, which is not much far off than what you're at, you'll get qualified as well. And you just need to have a certain amount of rapport with just having equity in the bank. The growth of the business is more than I ever imagined. I own a couple locations. We're getting ready to go nationwide in a couple months. We're opening up locations all over the country. I'm going to be getting other loans too. I already know how to do it through AMPAC. We grossed last year upwards of over $8 million in gross sales. The projected sales for 2024 is upwards of $20 million. It's like family. I mean, if I can sum them up in one word, it's like family. You know, I went to a meeting back in February. I believe it was for the Black History Month, and it was great. Everybody greeted me. There were so many resources. There's so much things there, and just the pamphlets. And even if you don't understand something, the people are just so helpful. AMPAC, pretty much all they did was pass me the baton to where I can just run with it, and I would recommend that. I mean, it's been a life-changing experience for me. With AMPAC, it is possible.
Powerful. It really is possible. And I know that you're going to hear that phrase a lot today. You already have. But I hope that these stories have helped convey the clarity that folks really get when you get this kind of assistance. And that's really what we're here for. And as you heard from Janine, we're here to support you from when you even have the thought process of wanting to buy a building. We're really here for the cradle to legacy experience. But with that, Ms. Kennedy, I'll pass it back to you for our last slide here.
Leona Stewart, I own and
Thank you, Leo.
Could I add something?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
Yeah.
I wish I could say I was the Janine that Leona is talking about. We had another employee named Janine who we miss dearly. I worked with her on this project, but I unfortunately was not that same Janine.
Hi, my name is Leona Stewart.
Hi, my name is Dwayne Campbell.
Sorry, Janine, go ahead.
Okay, one of the things I want to add is, you know, you heard how we work so closely hand in hand with our borrowers to help them get through the process. And I want to know that that is what we do. And if you are thinking about purchasing a property, we are here to help you before you make that offer. And it's best to come to us before that offer is made so we can sit down, look at your financials, help you pre-qualify for what you afford right now. Do you need those projections? Do you have a story about how buying this building is going to help your business grow so that we can get that plan and projections put together for you and get a pre-qualification to make an offer? Owner-user commercial real estate is still very competitive out there. So it is best to have your financing in order, have your financials in order before you make an offer, so that you can close on time. There's still a number of sellers who are not very gracious and offering extensions to close. So you want to be prepared on there. And so let us help you through that process. Additionally, it can sometimes be a little challenging navigating through banks. And not all banks will offer financing to all types of businesses and all types of properties.
Right.
So we're first going to ask who you're currently banking with, and they may not be able to fulfill your request for some reason. We can help find that banking partner to get your loan done for you. So that's another thing we can do to help you, because we want to help you get through the whole process and achieve that.
Yeah.
So I'll turn that back over to Brian.
Thank you, Janine. Yeah, and as you see on the screen, we just try to make access to business capital as easy as we can for you. We have our little catchphrase, as easy as ABC, because that's really what our goal is to make it simple. We know it can be a little bit of a daunting task to purchase your own building. And so we want to make sure that, one, you see it's possible, and then two, you have support with how you're going about the process. And so what I want to cover here is making sure that folks see what is the process? How does this work? What kind of documents do I need if I did want to secure a loan? And what are the stages of the loan process? So we tried to break it down into an ABC format where we collect your application, where we aim to gather, well, who you are as a business owner and how have you responsibly managed your debt? And, excuse me, and we really just try to collect the documents that help us assess that. So as you heard Janine note, the financial statements, we will collect simple application form. And we'll make sure that we collect a personal financial statement that allows for us to be able to see where you are and how responsibly you manage your debt as a business owner. So we can help you understand, well, how much can you qualify for? What type of building should you be looking for? And you can really get started off on the right foot. Once we collect your application, we move into the business review stage where we start taking a look at, well, what is your business exactly? And how successful has it been? Yes, we look at historical, but as you heard from Leona, we also look at future projections of your business. How successful are you planning to be? And how would this loan support you? As you heard in one of the success stories, to double your business in a year, it is possible. And we want to support you with the access to capital to do that. And so we will collect things like a business questionnaire, business debt schedule. We'll make sure to capture all of your business tax returns, but you see there at the bottom, we will, in certain cases, if you are that startup, that's early stage, we'll ask for your business plan and we'll ask for your business plan financial projections to see, well, what are you planning to do over the course of these next couple of years to grow and to sustain your operations? And then lastly, we go through the C, which is the closing stage, where, hey, we've assessed the package, we've assessed the project, everything looks like it's something that's doable, you qualify, and we are ready to bear the risk with capital to help you grow your business. And so we'll review your loan documents with you, make sure you understand all the final conditions to close, and we'll proceed to funding the loan with you. So once again, we try to make it as easy as ABC, but it starts with a conversation. We want to talk to you, we want to understand what you're trying to do, and then we move through the ABC process to get you the access to capital.
Hi, my name is Lee.
And so, I know, Leona, she has to tell her story again, you just have to hear it again, I know. But just to make sure we're rounding out our conversation today, so everyone has a full understanding of all the services that we provide, you heard a little bit more about our loan services. I want to make sure you all understand all the programs and the services we have within our entrepreneur ecosystem. So we do have a physical business resource center here in Ontario, California, that is a business co-working space where we host business coaches and mentors to be able to provide access to training and development opportunities for you as a business owner and for others who may need that support. So we also offer direct technical assistance, and we make sure to bring you a business network that has not only sources where you can get access to help, but also sources of support. And that's all centralized through our AMPAC Business Capital mobile app. It is called AMPAC Business Capital on the App Store. You can find it on the Apple App Store or on the Google Play Store, all for free to you. We call it the entrepreneur ecosystem. We have a business training center, which you see us in today, which is available for if you're ever trying to do events like this, or you want to host a networking event, or even host a webinar or a seminar of this capacity. We're happy to have you use our space as a business training center. And we are consistently hosting small business networking events and opportunities to engage with the small business community. This is on top of our weekly newsletter where we try to promote resources that are available across the lines of capital, coaching, and community, where we can really see you take actionable steps to grow your business. So we'll continue to expand our programs and services as we grow, but these are some of the programs and services we offer through our entrepreneur ecosystem, which is on-site here in our building in Ontario and virtually accessible through our AMPAC Business Capital Entrepreneur Ecosystem mobile app as well. So just so you all get a little bit of a visual of some of the things that we try to connect you to through our entrepreneur ecosystem, you see on the right side that you can download our app and some of the down payment assistance impact that was noted there earlier. But we try to connect you to all the different types of spaces you may need. as well as the entrepreneur support services and government and small business support services that are available, like some that we noted earlier, like our Service Corps retired executives that offer free mentoring, our Small Business Development Center partners, our Women's Business Center partners, and more. We connect you to different learning outlets that are available for business owners, like different colleges and universities, and online resources that you may just not have known of. We connect you to networking events that we know are available, different headquarters of network councils like chambers of commerce that we're partnered with, professional networking groups that we're aligned with that we can connect you to. And of course, we connect you to funding opportunities. Just in case you are not looking for access to debt capital, we have connections with equity capital providers as well, like venture capital and angel investors, that we give you direct application links to so that you can directly apply through those sources. And we try to maintain application links that you can leverage through our network. So we want to be a one-stop shop for you to get access to early stage development, growth stage development, and all the way through succession planning development services, where you may be looking to pass that business forward. So we want to be a resource at all stages of your growth. And that's really what our entrepreneur ecosystem, which is your business resource hub, is all about. But with that being said, I do want to take a moment and just say thank you all so much once again for tuning into our webinar today. We do want to make sure we leave a couple of moments for questions. I know I saw a couple in the chat that we want to address, and make sure that you all pop any additional questions in the chat. We're going to go ahead and step into our Q&A section now. Let me go on
Brian,
and.
I can read some of those questions that are in the chat.
Perfect.
And begin between the three of us. We can answer those. One from Ronnie Hawkins. He asked, can you provide a list of different type of commercial properties AMPAC are most likely to help fund? And I'll start that answer, and then Janine and others, Brian, you can jump in. But our the kind of commercial properties that we can fund is really varied. From self-storage facilities to industrial buildings to, as Janine was talking about, restaurants, daycare centers. Where we get a lot of questions, though, is can we fund cannabis operations? And we cannot. We cannot fund anything that is not federally legal. And cannabis businesses are not federally legal. So any of those dispensaries or any of those facilities, they are not eligible to be funded. But most other owner-occupied commercial real estate properties are eligible for SBA 504 funding. Brian, Janine, do you want to comment any further?
Yeah, I'd like to just mention, obviously, the program, we finance for-profit entities, so we are not financing church properties. We do get a number of questions on that. We are a faith-based CDC, but we do not lend on to churches for the statutes of the program, for their facilities. But we do have resources that we can make referrals to some of our partners.
Absolutely.
We get a lot of questions on land.
Janine, hold on. Let me just make one comment on that. While we can't finance churches, several churches have nonprofit daycare centers that are tied to their churches. So if that nonprofit daycare center needs funding, we can certainly support them through our other SBA programs. Those are eligible because of the great need for childcare, and SBA has opened up the eligibility to support those entities. We have had an experience where a business owner, he actually was a pastor, but he also ran a painting business. He was a painting contractor. And so the requirement for SBA is that the business occupies 51% of the property. His painting construction business operated in 51% of the property. And on the weekends, he turned a portion of that to be used for his church and to be used for Bible studies and other things. that was an eligible use. But if there is a church that's looking for funding, we have a number of partners that do lend to churches and nonprofit organizations, since we cannot do that per the SBA guidelines.
Now, interestingly enough, Leona's story, the property they purchased had most recently been used as a church.
Yes.
That's right.
Small steepled type church, but it met their needs. So we were not financing the property to be used as a church, but it had recently been a church. So little twist on that story there, so on there. Back to what I was saying about land, we do get a lot of questions about land. So, we can finance vacant land if you've got so a couple different situations. You've got a project that you're going to construct on that to build a building that will be for your use. Now, if we're doing ground up construction, then we're gonna require you to be in 60% of it upfront instead of 51. But you will also have to have all your plans and permits in place. We cannot just finance land under the 504 program or SBA programs for future development. So your plans will have to be in place. We have vehicles to help you get there, bridge loans to get that acquired while you get those plans in place, so that could be done. Now, another time we could do land is, let's say you are a contractor or a trucking company and you need the additional yard for your business. That is a time, and it makes sense based on that, you need that. That is a time that we can finance land.
Excellent. Thank you for that, Janine. Thank you for that.
Janine, can I ask a question on that real quick? I'm sorry.
Yes, we have one of our banking
Oh,
partners here.
yeah.
John would like to ask a
I
question.
know, on the ground up construction,
Mhm.
60% occupancy during,
Initially.
at completion, does it jump to 80%?
No, just the goal is to be at 80% within 10 years.
Within
So
10
you can
years?
lease out long-term for the long-term 20%. And in the initially, you can do the other 20%. But it has to make sense to show that there is the ability for them to grow into that other 20%. So you build a mixed-use property with housing and you've got a dental office downstairs. How are they going to grow into housing? So we have to make sense.
Okay, thank you.
It's a great question. Thank you for asking. Okay.
Now, there was another question from Taylor. She asked, could you help build out a building, like adding floors? And then she asked a follow-up question about, does the business have to be in California? So two answers to that, Taylor. If you are if it's an owner occupied building and you're adding additional floors because you're going to operate the business in those additional floors, then yes, that is eligible. If you are adding additional floors for rental space, you can build out the shell of those. You can have the shell of those additional floors that are going to be used for rental space, but you cannot build out the rental space using the SBA product. Because the SBA 504 product and 7A product is used for owner occupied. But there are often times when someone is building a building or doing even the ground up construction that Janine is talking about, and they're planning to have some space for the rent. You can build out the shell of that rental space, but all of the build out of that rental space, SBA does not allow for you to do with the SBA 504 loan, because they're expecting that that tenant can do that. The wonderful thing about the programs that we have, if you build out the shell with the SBA 504 program and you have a tenant that's a business owner that's going into the rental space, we can work with that tenant to build out that tenant space using our Community Advantage program to support them in doing that. So we have options available to support that tenant space, even though you can't do that with the 504 program. And AMPAC lends throughout the state of California and Nevada. Today, we're working to also expand it to Arizona, but today we're eligible to lend in California, anywhere in California and in Nevada. the question from Nikisha, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Nikisha, is could land be financed for farming? And so farming is an eligible use for the SBA 504 program. There's another program with USDA, and I was just having a conversation with someone about this earlier today in a presentation. What we want to do is look at, because we're a nonprofit and we're trying to look out for the best interests of the business owner, whether the SBA 504 program is the best use for that farming land, or is the USDA product better? And we'd love to advise you accordingly, getting more information on what the plans and the uses of that farming land. Janine, do you have any other comments on that?
No, haven't done a lot with agriculture, so.
Awesome, awesome. Okay. Well, we do want to be respectful of everyone's time, and I know we are at time for our webinar, and I do not see any more questions in the chat. So at this time, oh, Taylor, you can absolutely schedule a one-on-one. I will drop my email address here in the chat, and we can definitely connect directly so we can follow up with you. And I am happy to have a further conversation. And with that being said, I just want to say thank you all so much for joining. Once again, we are honored to be able to do this work, and we couldn't do it without you all. So continue to thrive, and we are looking forward to continuing to serve you. If there's anything we can do, please do not hesitate to reach out. Happy Black History Month, and I hope you all have a great day. Take care, and bye-bye.
And don't forget,
It is possible. That's right. Thank you all. Take care.
thank you. Bye-bye.